Nelson Mandela, former president of South Africa, once said, and I quote him, "There can be no greater gift than that of giving one's time and energy to help others without expecting anything in return." Esteemed guest Mr. Bijay Sahu, Group President Strategic HR, Chairman's Office, Reliance Industries Limited, Honorable Vice Chancellor Birla Global University, Professor Premendu P. Mathur, Revered Registrar Birla Global University, Professor B.K. Das, esteemed Dr. Harivansh Chaturvedi, Director BIMTech Greater Noida, respected deans and controller of examinations, faculty colleagues, and my dear students. Good evening, everyone. I am Archana Chaudhary, Faculty Birla School of Management, and I welcome you all to the webinar on technologies and management for helping the poor in pandemic. When the clock struck 12 at midnight to kick off a new year and decade, no one could have anticipated what the year was about to bring. Only 3 months in 2020 became all about cancelling trips, major events, and social distancing. Navigating this pandemic was and is challenging for all of us, including working from home, protecting our loved ones, getting supplies, and staying connected to friends. But imagine the plight of poor people who have nothing to lose except their lives. When lockdown was announced to contain the spread of COVID-19 on 25th March 2020 in India, it led to a staggering humanitarian crisis which the state struggled to handle. As stranded workers and vulnerable families ran out of food, cash, and patience, there were some people who came out, running out of living rooms and college halls, mapping out the needy via WhatsApp group chats and Google spreadsheets, and stepped it in this wide breach. Volunteers and members of civil society organizations started spending hours in listening to people in distress, rustling up meals for the needy people in their tiny home kitchens, and coaxing government officials to send relief when they failed. We all are going through difficult and challenging times, but some of us are suffering more than the others. How and what can we do to help the lesser privileged ones, especially the urban poor, in reducing their suffering is the theme of today's webinar. I welcome you once again to this webinar. Moving ahead, let me have the privilege of introducing Honorable Vice Chancellor. Professor P.P. Mathur has recently joined as Vice Chancellor Birla Global University. He was Professor and Head, Department of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology and Dean, School of Life Sciences, Pondicherry University. He served as the Vice Chancellor of KIT University, Bhubaneswar, from August 2012 to August 2017. He is Fellow of National Academy of Medical Sciences, National Academy of Sciences India, and Indian Science Congress Association. He has received his education from Banaras Hindu University and has guided several PhD, MPhil, and MSc students. He has about 43 and 38 years of research and teaching experience, respectively. He has a number of publications in very high impact journals. Professor Mathur is recipient of many prestigious awards like Ashutosh Mukherjee Memorial Award, Young Scientists Award, Rockefeller Foundation Special Postdoctoral Fellowship Award, Rockefeller Foundation Biotechnology Career Award, INSA German Academy Exchange Program, and ICMR International Fellowship Award, to name a few. We welcome you, sir, to our university, and I'm proud to host this webinar under your leadership. May I now request our Honorable Vice Chancellor to please give the welcome address. Sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Archana. Honorable, the guest of today, Mr. Bijay Sahu, all the distinguished guests who are attending this particular program, Professor Chaturvedi, Dr. B.K. Das, and faculty members, students, and invited guests. Actually, this is the topic which Mr. Bijay Sahu, actually I have heard Bijay Sahu several occasions, And every time he talks in a very, very contemporary and different topics. And this is no wonder that he's talking about a very contemporary topic and which affects us all. This pandemic has taught everyone different kind of lessons. Some are same, some are extremely different. But one thing is common, that technology has joined everything and has made things a little easier than it would have been. I can't imagine that when the last pandemic 100 years ago, when technology was not there, and how much people would have suffered that time. But in spite of the technology was never forecasted for pandemics. And I think this was in spite of several predictions of this kind, we did not really believe that such pandemic will paralyze the whole world in such a big manner. Basically, now the technology has done several things, including when we are talking about the technology of the diagnostics. The first thing, when the technology in the country, hardly anything was there in the name of PPE kits. Hardly anything was there in the terms of robotics. Hardly anything was there in terms of diagnostics, testing, kits, or whatever. So, but the technology had emerged lived in such a way that things became much easier, much simple, and the digital health technologies have become extremely important. And the finding new drugs, finding vaccine candidates, repurposing drugs, and all these things happen because of technological advances. Drugs are first done through bioinformatics or other technology methods. So I'm sure that this kind of things which have happened at this time would be uh, making, even education has completely changed. The offices have changed. The classrooms would be completely changed. Remote working with Zoom as it is happening now, it was unthought of a year ago, even less than a year ago. So the whole working landscape of people have changed. So I think in that context, we may think that the person like Mr. Vijay Sahu, who is such a don in his own area, would be able to tell us that what could be the technology and management for helping the poor in pandemic. We have seen poor people suffering the most, and I think that technology must be ready for the any kind of eventuality where people, general masses, should not suffer the most. So with these words, I welcome you all for this discourse, and I'm sure that it would be useful to anybody and everybody, whether it is around science discipline, technology discipline, management discipline, education area. I think there is no discipline which would be left or which will be not covered by his talk. So with these words, I welcome Mr. Sahu for this presentation. Of course, after the pandemic is over, we would definitely like you to be present amongst us. But I think this would help us, our students, our faculty members, and the persons, those who are listening, to understand the dimensions of the technological and the way the management can take place. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It's my honor and privilege to introduce our guest, Mr. Vijay Sahu, Group President, Strategic HR, Chairman's Office, Reliance Industries Limited. Mr. Sahu has over 3 decades of rich experience in top leadership positions in leading national and international corporations with businesses in technologies, telecom, media, retail, financial services, and management consulting. He specializes in the area of business and organization strategy relating to talent and technologies, human resource management, leadership development, organization development, skills development, and employability. As the Group President Strategic HR, he is currently working with the Chairman, Mr. Mukesh Ambani, for building the strong leadership and organization capabilities for all businesses of Reliance Industries. Prior to this role, Mr. Sahu was the global head HR of Wipro Technologies and worked under mentorship of legendary philanthropist and most respected corporate leader, Mr. Aziz Premji. He has also served as principal consultant in PricewaterhouseCoopers and founding HR head of IDBI Bank. He is on the advisory boards of many reputed universities and educational institutions. He has been a regular writer and speaker in various global forums. He is also involved in a social service mission mitigating miseries of migrants by putting people back to work. He is known for his humility with sharp intellect, backed by tremendous energy and deep commitment to social service. We welcome you, sir, and request you to deliver a lecture on technologies and management for helping the poor in pandemic. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, Professor Archana Chaudhary. Thank you, Professor Mathur, Honorable VC, Professor V.K. Das, Professor Chaturvedi, respected faculty members, the students, and other staff, and those who are participating in this seminar. So when Dr. Mathur asked me that whether I'll have some time to speak to the students and the university faculty members, I promptly agreed. Nowadays, I very promptly agree to speak because I don't have to travel. I just need to invest 1 hour to interact and learn from respected professors and learned people like you. But when it was like traveling, it takes the whole day. It was tough. But now just in 1 hour, one can interact and learn. So when I was thinking, he asked me what subject will I like to speak on. Always, whenever I think in a very simplistic manner, like 5 aspects of human life. So one is the spirituality, second is science and technologies in one bucket. The physical aspect of man's life, like human being is a physical being, so the physical aspect of the human being. Human being is a social being, so social aspect of the human life. Human being is an economic being, so he has a PAN number, bank account number. So the economic aspect of the human being. And I always keep saying the most important aspect is actually the spiritual aspect of the human being. If you look at the history of the mankind, known, unknown, so what is known to the modern world, we call it history, modern history. What is unknown, we give different names. Some allude it to faith, some allude it to kind of history. So if you look at the known history of the mankind, everything starts with the human mind having quest to improve the life of other fellow human beings and his own life. And that starts with science. When the science gets applied, that becomes technologies. When it gets commercially applied in larger scale, it creates disproportionate, positively, the economic surplus to make a difference to the people of the society. And that economic surplus largely contributes to mitigate the miseries of most of the masses of the world, and more so the poor of the world. Normally the poor suffers in every situation, but they suffer more during the pandemic. I remember on 25th March, when Honorable Prime Minister declared the lockdown, and it was said that we should all be social distancing and wear mask, kind of use sanitizers. All the protocols came up globally and here also in India. So I was driving back from my office. On the both sides of the road, there were migrant workers in Mumbai. They stay on the roadside in the slum Jhopda Patta. In one room, 8 by 10, which is 80 square feet, there will be 8 to 10 people staying. Some of them will be in the night sleeping outside. Some of them on the, one person might drive her. So I asked him, how do you manage in this 8 people in 80 square feet? He said, sir, we have a cot. So under the cot, 4 people sleep, and above the cot, 4 people sleep. And during the daytime, the 2 people sleep outside the door on the veranda. And during daytime, that cot becomes their kitchen platform. And during night time, that becomes their sleeping bed. So I thought, like, how will these people manage social distancing? And then you saw the stories after stories revealed. One boy, 18-year-old boy from Bhiwandi, Bombay, near outskirts of Bombay, traveled by bicycle 1800 kilometers to Odisha, back his home. And one Balaram Sahu committed suicide in Haryana, Gurugram. He was a plumber. He was not even a plumber. He was an illiterate worker, helper of a plumber. He was from Kendrapada. So he didn't know what to do. And since there was almost 144 like situation, so you cannot actually roam around in the road, and where to go when you don't have a home, you are homeless. And if you go to the road, police beats you up, you don't have a home to go. He has not taken any food, and and then his phone had died. He didn't know the language other than Odia, and then he committed suicide, finally hanging himself under in a tree. And similarly, hundreds and hundreds people known and thousands unknown committed suicide during this pandemic. 6 workers hiding from the police, they got into a concrete mixing, that concrete mixing ka jo drum hota hai, in Madhya Pradesh, and they were hiding there to go back home, because only concrete mixture was allowed, that truck was allowed to drive. Police was so brutal those days. And they also got caught and beaten up despite traveling in a concrete drum, which is a concrete mixture drum. People walked in railway lines of train lines of Mumbai, and when they're walking, they walked the whole day. In the night, they thought there will be no train, so they found it safe to sleep on the railway track. And one train, goods train from Bombay, kind of went over them. Hundreds of migrant workers died on the railway track. All of you would have seen those videos, read those newspaper articles. It was less reported than actually it was happening. So during that time, actually, I called up, Professor Dogra of IIT Bhubaneswar. So I said, Dr. Dogra, something needs to be done, because now Honorable Prime Minister has said kind of lockdown and social distancing, but these people have no place to distance oneself from the other. He said, what can we do? I said, like, look, one is, anyway, these guys will get infected by the pattern of the epidemic. The other is, when they go back home, whether they go by walking, in truck, or in whichever way, when they reach home, in the villages, they will spread. So can we set up a kind of technological platform where we trace, track, and help these people till they're cured, don't mix up with their family members, old parents, etc. in the villages, and doesn't spread in the village? He said, we can do that. So sharp in 3 days, 72 hours, we worked round the clock. I personally worked along with IIT Bhubaneswar professors and researchers and students. We developed an app. We call it Mo Sahay. And that app, we started tracking all the migrants moving from different parts of the country to Odisha. We shared it with the government of Odisha, and then we shared it with the government of India. Then suddenly on 4th April, government of India came up with Arogya Setu, and they said that will be universal tracking app. And then we then migrated. We thought like, look, when the government is doing this, we'll do complementary things. So we started mapping migrants and their skills and thought we'll place them back to the work. You will be wondering, why am I talking about migrants? Let me give you the dimension of migrant economy. In India, there are 160 million, that is 16 crores migrants. And internationally out of India, we call them immigrants. Those who work outside India are 117 million, that is 1.7 crores migrants. These people who work outside India, they send home 82 billion US dollar. 82 billion US dollar is a lot of money. It creates 5 times money multiplier, and that money goes straight to our villages. And if you see Kerala, 30% of Kerala's GDP comes from the remittances from the immigrants, those who work outside. And similarly, from UP, Bihar, large number of people go and work outside, but UP, Bihar people go as laborers, so their salary is less, but still it's a sizable number. If you put it all together, it is 17.5 crores people, but it's actually not 17.5 crores people. Each person has with him 2 children minimum, a wife, 2 elderly parents, and maybe dependent brothers and sisters. If you multiply that with 5 to 7, then you are talking about 85 to 95 crores of the people of India. They were getting affected by affecting that section of the people called migrant. So out of 135 crores people, 95 crores people were getting affected by the lockdown, by the COVID. And these are the 95 crores people who run your factory, who clean your, who build your buildings that we are all today sitting in. They drive our children to the school. They are the guys who actually their parents grow the crops for us. They are the farmers. So they grow the crops. Their children work in the border in the army. Their farmer's children, my son doesn't go and work in the army. The farmer's child goes and work in the army. He fights in the Chinese border and barefooted, bare hand, they fought the Chinese soldiers, and 22 of them got killed from the Bihar regiment. You must have all read. So that, who is that person? That person is a farmer who has 3 children. He has given 1 child to the border to defend us, another child to run our factory, and the 3rd child to kind of continue to farm the land. So one is feeding us, one is processing food for better comfort, luxury for us, and 3rd is actually protecting us. And that farmer was getting actually severely affected, and his life was getting devastated. When this was happening, to add to the misery, we decided, where we have maximum number of immigrants, that you Indians go back. So no Indian immigrants are not allowed there. And then Gulf started actually becoming very hostile to the Indian immigrants, and most of the people had to come back. So the foreign exchange remittances stopped. The $82 billion out of that, almost like 60–70% stopped. The people who stayed in the Gulf, they had no shelter, no care. They came to the airport. I talked to the minister that day because I run this Most Sahay platform and foundation. Madam Archana Chaudhary had joined in one of the meetings. Our representatives from Gulf were also there on that day. So what we did, we requested the Honorable Minister of the Center, saying that, like, look, these boys, these men, those who work outside, they have come to the airport. Now the flights have been cancelled. Now airport authority doesn't allow them to stay within the airport. Now these guys have nowhere to go in a foreign land, no food. Their existence there is illegal. They have sent back all the money home thinking that they will not need it because they're going home, and they have no food. And many of them were suffering from COVID. Imagine the situation, the guys who send us $82 billion, creating $400 billion money multiplier effect in a rural economy, what we are doing to those children of India. And what was happening to the factory workers, what was happening to the soldiers of this country, and what is happening to the farmers of this country. So everywhere I saw, actually the farmer and his family and the poorer is getting impacted. So what we did, we actually mapped those people, and then we said first thing we'll do is we place them back to the work. But there is no work, no trains running, no kind of vehicles are there to go back home. The police doesn't allow you permission. So first thing we did is send some laborers from Odisha tribal areas. We mapped 1.2 million, 12 lakhs UP laborers, 1 million, 10 lakhs Bihar laborers, 7 lakhs Odia laborers. West Bengal government was not very cooperative, so we could not map much through the government, but we mapped otherwise. Assam, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Seven Sisters land. So just with 100 volunteers, I worked 14 hours per day for my company. Then also I find 4 hours every day to work for this MOSA mission along with IIT Bhubaneswar. And then we put it together, a database of 20 to 30 lakhs people. And then when we sent the first batch of workers from the jungles of Odisha tribal areas to L&T in Vizag, the Odisha police doesn't allow. They want a bribe to give actually permission for them to move. Andhra police doesn't allow. They don't allow them to get in. So I had to speak to Odisha, all the top administrative officers. They helped me to get them out of Odisha. I had to speak to Andhra Pradesh top officers to allow these guys without a bribe to get into Andhra. And then they started working. That was our first batch we sent sometime in August. And then in September, we saw the warehouse needs 300,000 workers. So we are now sending people to JioMart warehouse in Bangalore, Flipkart warehouse in Bangalore, Big Basket warehouse in Bangalore and Chennai. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to put people back to work. Because these people, if they don't work, it not only affects their own life, it doesn't affect their own family, but it affects the country. It affects the productivity of the nation. You would have seen our GDP had the biggest slide in the entire world. We had the biggest slide in our GDP in the first quarter. Second quarter result has not come. So the July, August, September result has not come. We are going to October. It will come now. And April, May, June was a disastrous GDP kind of reduction wise. What exactly has happened? We are not realizing what has happened. It's like a frog put into little water, which has been gradually heating up. And the frog, till he dies out of the suffocation, he doesn't realize I'm dying. India actually today is in trouble. What you are seeing, small things like great achievement of companies, some of the companies like ours, which are smartest, like when there was complete world was dark, then we get some foreign money into investment into one of our other businesses. Other than these few 5-7 smart companies, all other companies are, believe me or not, are dying. They are actually on ventilator. So the disease inside the home of every Indian home now, it's there in the rural area, it is there in urban area, it is now affected the President of America yesterday. So it has not spared Queen of UK, President of America, Prime Minister of UK, Home Minister of India, Australia Prime Minister, Canadian Prime Minister. It has spared no one. It has also entered into the rural hinterland where people innocently, I was talking to my village people, this is what is COVID, sir? तो बोला सतर्क रहो बेटा, ये बहुत खतरनाक kind of disease है. तो बोला अच्छा, we will die knowing it, but they will be dying not knowing it. So that is there comes the role of science and technologies. There comes the application of intelligent people's intelligence and intellect, how to mitigate the miseries of the people. So when we started Mo Saha, we call it mitigating miseries of the migrants. Ours is actually 3M mission. Here, the biggest role is being played by technologies. Now look at what technology, where it is doing what. China, those who are strategic in thinking and kind of have an economic view of the world, between 2000 to 2000, till 2020, you can say, the largest manufacturer of automation tools, robots, etc. was actually Japan or Germany. The largest consumer of the world was actually China. So what China was doing, it was quietly automating every single factory. It was robotizing every single kind of activity. Now during pandemic, when every economy slides, China economy goes growing. Because more than men, the automated and mechanized processes are running the factories. That is one aspect. Remember, it has different dimensions. So that is what science does. The second thing, those of you, Professor Mathur will know, Beijing Institute of Genomics is the largest genomics institute in the world. 80% of genes data gets processed in Beijing Institute of Genomics. The institute from where this COVID virus came, Wuhan, that is the kind of one of the most secret kept research institutes on the genes. And those were the guys who came up with the gene re-engineering of the pigs, the gene re-engineering of a baby they created out of the gene re-engineering, genetic modifying. So China has gone deep into the genetics. Like last decade, last century, last many decades was the decade of bits and bytes in the computing science. The next century is the century of qubits. What is qubits? That is quantum computing. So what does quantum computing does? Everything you know about computer is going to be irrelevant. So whatever we know, we have learned, everything that we have learned in computing is actually based on bits and bytes, 2-dimensional. Qubits is 3-dimensional. And qubits, whatever you do, the speed of quantum computing is so high, starting from your data privacy, data security, your passwords, everything becomes irrelevant. Your satellite ecosystem, your nuclear ecosystem, your every system becomes irrelevant. And who is the best in the world in quantum computing? China. Now they gave 3 years ago, 4 years ago in their budget, actually 5 years ago, $8 billion for research into quantum computing, 5-7 years ago. US woke up, saw that China is going ahead in quantum computing, so everything will be irrelevant in the current traditional legacy computing. So they did put together $2 billion for the research into quantum computing. India government in the last budget, those of you who noticed the budget, provided 8,000 crores. I had personally a role in that. I kept writing, I was a FICCI chairman, Skill Development Committee. I kept writing which all technologies are going to be strategically important for actually India. So one is genomics is going to be strategically important. Second is quantum computing is going to be strategically important. Third is space science is going to be strategically important. Fourth is AI machine learning is going to be strategically important. All these, if you see, it's not US. It's China far ahead of the rest of the world. Now, why am I saying this? Because China has leveraged and applied science by converting, translating to technologies and creating commercial economic impact so well that has almost eradicated poverty from the largest, most populous country of the world. And when that has happened, that is a demonstration, then when a pandemic comes, how you can manage by science and technologies, you take care of poor, poor itself is not there. And now I'll go back to the economics of whatever I am talking about. So far, I was in the emotional part of my lecture. So I will now discuss the economic part of my lecture, which will be relevant for MBA students, professors, and the corporate world. So you can join it together, E to E, emotion to economics, and how in the middle is the science and technologies. So let's look at the GDP. I'll share my presentation now, madam. I'll drink some water. I don't know how to switch off the video. Let me drink. Sir, you see, look at this chart. United States of America, the GDP is $21.43 trillion. China, $14.14 trillion. But mind it, United States of America GDP is shrinking. It's like an old man. China economy GDP is growing. So sooner than later, in 3 to 5 years, you'll see China becoming bigger than United States of America. GDP is a summation. It's a reflection. It's a derivation of what all you do with science technologies and how much economic and commercial impact you create, so that the outcome of that is actually GDP. Look at India, $2.94 trillion. And we, in 1978, sir, our GDP was higher than China's. Our per capita income was higher than China's. Just in 40 years, 38 years, in front of our eyes, during my adult career, India, China has become 5 times in everything of India. I went to China first time, sir, in 2000 to set up Wipro Technologies. And when I went to China, I landed there, not a single person was speaking English. So I had taken an interpreter. And I wanted to see China. So I went to their kind of developed industrial belt. I went to their cultural belt. I went to their rural belt. I figured it out. China in 2000 was actually just taking off. So they had done 18 years of hard work of investment. And by 2000, they were taking off to the currently what you are seeing China, developed China. They were not speaking English. So that's the time they were bringing every single English teacher of the world to China, paying highest salary to teach Chinese English, including Indian English teachers, sir, went and joined there. They brought back all the scientists, engineers, and technologists of China working outside China by paying them international salary into China. They brought at that time all the best professionals of the world, not only professors, professionals of the world, those who worked in every single industry of manufacturing, retail, e-commerce, space, genomics, AI, machine learning, computing science, every single professional, they were bringing to China by paying them higher salary than those who were getting in London and New York, etc. Now that's the time they were actually preparing to take on the world, which they are doing today. Next, sir. This is the per capita income, sir. You see, US, because of less people, only 33 crores population, ours is 135 crores. They have $65,000. That's reducing, but per capita income in the left-hand side upper corner. If you look at China, large people, 135 crores like ours, and they have also $10,000. $10,000 is a lot of money for a person to live happily, where the cost of living is much lower. And look at all the per capita incomes. India is not given here, but India's per capita income is $2,000. I think it is in the next slide. Yeah, India's per capita income is $2,000. So China's is 5 times of India. This is irrelevant. Let's go to the next slide. When an economy leverages science and technologies and creates economic impact, it creates 3-dimensional impacts there. It makes the nation more powerful. It makes the corporates of that nation much more prosperous. it makes the people of that nation much more well off and happy. So that is what you can see when America and China, they were not only competing in terms of science and technologies, but that was reflecting in creating the economically powerful corporations. Let's have a look at that. Apple, it's a $1.9 trillion kind of a market cap company. Aramco is an Arab country company, which is an oil and gas company, $1.7 trillion. Microsoft is $1.5 trillion. Amazon is $1.5 trillion. Facebook, $725 billion. Alibaba is a Chinese company. So they didn't allow Amazon to work in China. So they created their Alibaba, which is a $713 billion company. Had they allowed Amazon to operate in China, Alibaba would not have been there. If Alibaba doesn't exist in China, China's GDP is less. We allowed Amazon to operate in India. We allowed Flipkart to be bought over by Walmart. So those create higher value for the companies there, for the countries there, than for our own country. Tencent. Tencent is actually equivalent of that WhatsApp you see. The WhatsApp is now taken over by Facebook. So Tencent is what's Facebook equivalent. So market cap is $652 billion. They don't allow Facebook in China. Had they allowed them, they would not have been there. Tencent would not have been there. Berkshire is anyway an investment company, but there a lot of investment is also in China. The top 5 companies across US, China, and India. Apple, we talked about $1.9 trillion, Microsoft $1.5 trillion. ये दोनों को अगर जोड़ देगा ना सर, इंडिया का जीडीपी से ज्यादा हो गया, दो ही कंपनी. Amazon $1.5 trillion, Alphabet $980 billion, Facebook $725 billion. सबसे सरप्राइजिंग बात ये है सर, ये एप्पल का आप वो कुक को निकाल दो, जिम कुक को, उसके नीचे CXO में जो तो है, द टेक्नोलॉजी साइड में you will find most of the Indians. Microsoft में सत्या नदेला से स्टार्ट करके डाउन द लाइन पूरा इंडियंस है. Amazon में जेफ बेजो के नीचे पूरा इंडियन है. Amazon जब स्टार्ट हुआ था, I went and met their founding team in 2000. So Amazon, Jeff Bezos with 5 guys. Who are those 5 guys? Girish Lakshman, Carl Raman, these 2 are Indians, and 2 guys, another Jeff, he just resigned recently, and another guy. So 4 guys with Jeff Bezos, they started Amazon. Now 2 of them were Indians. Now Amazon is a $1.5 trillion company. These Indians go from here, they study here in your IITs, sir. They study in your Birla Management School, and they go and create wealth there. And India, the largest company of India is RIL, which is $200 billion, which is actually like not even 10% of these guys. So now look at China, what China has done. When US was building it up, so China built Alibaba, didn't allow Amazon, $681 billion. China built Tencent, didn't allow Facebook and WhatsApp, $652 billion. Anyway, ICBC is their local bank. Ping Insurance is a digital insurance company. CCB is a local finance. Now look at India. I don't know whether you can see it or not. From my slide, the photos are coming, so I can't see, but let me try explain. RIL is the largest, which is almost $220 billion. But the way RIL is built, it is like it will compete with any corporation of the world, because our visionary chairman, what he does is he puts science and technologies first. And we leverage as much as these companies leverage science and technologies, all the latest science and technologies to create commercial economic impact. And because of him, RIL will always be, has been and will always be in the top and in the forefront because of leveraging science and technologies. Similarly, TCS is an outstanding company that leverages technologies maximum. Similarly, HDFC Bank is an outstanding bank that leverages technologies maximum. HUL is founded on science. Those of you who know, every product of HUL that actually comes from a scientific lab. Infosys is again another outstanding technologies company. Wipro, when I was there, it was actually, I left 2005 till 2005. Wipro was #1 company in India. It's not that I did anything, but Wipro I saw was going on a path that it cannot keep the growth momentum. Now look at the 1990, 2000 and 2010, which are the best 10 corporations of the world, India, and what exactly did they do? Madam had told me that I should speak 30 minutes and 15 minutes question answer. I have crossed another 3 minutes. I'll take 1 or 2 minutes more, then we can do question answer. So 1990, sir, if you see the 10 corporations of India, Tata Steel was the number one. Tata Steel doesn't exist today in 2020 in the top 10. It didn't exist even in 2010. And number two was ITC. ITC is now number 10. And third was Reliance Industries. Reliance Industries is now last 15 years, it has been number one. And Tata Motors was there in the fourth position. It doesn't exist anymore. Hindustan Lever was fifth. It continues to be in one of the top 10 in prominent position. Mafatlal Industries used to be top 10. Dr. Mathur will remember when Arvind Mafatlal was there. They don't exist in the top 10. Grasim Industries, Birlas were in the top 10. They don't exist anymore in the top 10. Don't mind, you are from Birla Institute. Century Textiles was in top 10. Another Birla company, BK Birla company. They don't exist anymore. SEC was another top 10 company that was a largely Tata owned company. They don't exist anymore. Gujarat State Finance Corporation was one of the top 10. Let's look at 2000. 2000, Wipro was the number one company in the country. And I must proudly tell you, I was leading Wipro HR at that time. And you will not believe, as long as I was there in Wipro, the year I joined, that year it became the number one in the India. And the year I left, a year after that, it didn't remain number one. So I once jokingly told our chairman, Mr. Ambani, I said, sir, Wipro was number one in India, and now Reliance has become number one. Only one thing has changed. And he started laughing. He said, of course, that has created value. By the way, Reliance Retail, which is 6 lakhs crores business today, I was the first employee and created that along with Mr. Ambani and Mr. Modi. The second, which is another 6 lakhs crore in Reliance group, that is Jio, which again I moved from Reliance Retail in 2011 and built that business. What I do is I do organization capability building. I do spot science and technologies. I spot talent who can actually translate that science and technologies and create commercial value. And my boss is a visionary leader, is a visionary industrialist. So what he does is he understands, spots the science and technology trend. He supports the investment in talent and technologies, and that creates commercial value. What you see in the Reliance in last 15 years, it has been at the top because of that. And when I was with Mr. Premji, exactly that is what we are doing. Every year in the month of September, October, we used to identify what are the new technologies emerging and how do we invest by creating COE in those technologies, and how do we invest in talent and technologies so that Wipro remains in the top. And that was actually working fantastically well. I'm a small man, but what is my observation and study is, if you focus on science and technologies and focus on talent, grow your own leaders, nobody can stop you from becoming number one in whatever you do. And if you see in 2020, whosoever has been number one, they all have invested in science, technologies, and talent. So when a company invests in science, technologies, and talent, that company becomes much more prosperous and well off. When a nation invests in science, technology, and talent, that nation becomes prosperous. So the best way to mitigate the miseries of the poor people in pandemic is actually to invest in science and technologies. We are lucky our current Honorable Prime Minister and the current administration is very aware and very smart in actually embracing and adopting technologies. So we have a very good, better future going ahead. But today we all are suffering, and that suffering will definitely come to one day an end. And these are our startup companies in India. Flipkart, $25 billion, unfortunately owned by now Walmart. I don't like it. Paytm, $16 billion, owned by now a Chinese company, Alibaba, that I don't like. Byju's, another education startup, Indian startup, now owned by Chinese, Singaporeans, Americans, that also I don't like. Oyo is again an Indian startup, Odisha tribal area, Rayagada, Odisha, that boy is Ritesh. So $10 billion, that also It is not no longer much owned by him. It is owned by Japan. I don't like it. I will like that day when Indians own Indian companies, like Mr. Ambani owns Reliance Industries and Reliance Industries #1. Like that, we should top 10 corporations of the world by leveraging science and technologies should be created by Indians and owned by Indians. And that's the proud India we should all try to create. And you all professors and students and intellectuals should imbibe this philosophy and contribute to building new India by leveraging science and technologies and mitigating miseries of the poor in pandemic. Thank you, sir. Over to you for question answer.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for such an interesting and inspiring lecture. And that too coming from an HR professional who is talking everything about science and technology. So coming to this interaction session, we have received one question. First, she compliments Professor Snigdha Mohapatra, faculty, Birla School of Management. She writes, great achievement, sir, as an HR leader. And our first question to you is, sir, is technology the major player to give China an advantage to have a growing GDP? If yes, then how India can compete with the same?
Madam, I'm just putting my phone on battery.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No problem.
So,
Sir, I
madam,
hope,
madam, if you
did
see,
you hear my question?
Yes, yes, madam.
Okay, sir.
So, if you see, like we plan for our family, like we plan in a company, we keep consistency in our planning, in our thinking. I came from a village. I came from a rural family. We are not very poor, but I came from a rural family. Today, when I'm talking to you, I live among 50 people here. 49 of them are billionaires except me. Near billionaires are billionaires except me. Like an individual plans for his life career, a company plans for his life career, a nation needs to plan for its life and career. When I was planning, madam, 30, 35, 40 years ago, I was planning investing my learning of science, mathematics, economics, and technologies. I may be an HR professional, but I have never stopped reading science and technologies, mathematics, even today, economics. HR I do because I love people and I like to take care of people. Otherwise, most of my career, I have done business, but while doing business, because I have extra love for people, I actually take care of people. A nation has to consistently plan. Between 1978 and 2018, 20, the difference was made over 42 years, where India lacked systematic, structured thinking, scientific planning, and persistently remaining committed to deliver whatever was planned for, which China was doing. So in China, everything was structured. There is no way any society can develop and grow without investing science and technologies. Investing in science and technologies is investing in the education first. Investing in education means investing in the students, professors, educational infrastructures. That is the starting point of science and technologies. That's what China did. Second, science and technologies is supporting R&D activity of whether an academic institution or an industrial activity or a national activity like ISRO, etc. Our naval ship are getting now modernized after 40 years. Our fighter jets don't fly over Himalayas, they fall down. We are still in MiG-29 and we are going to fight quantum computing war. ये कैसे चलेगा? तो इसलिए क्या करना पड़ेगा? जो चाइना किया है ना, we have a slogan, copy shamelessly, execute seamlessly. पांडित्य दिखाने का कोई जरूरत नहीं है. जो चाइना करके सक्सेसफुल हुआ हमको वही करना है. पंडित बाद में बनेंगे, पहले धनी बन जाते हैं. चोरी तो नहीं कर रहे ना भाई.
So that's a nice slogan. Thank you so much. Now we have question from Dr. Harivansh Chaturvedi, Director of Integrated Noda. Sir has asked how children of poor families can be provided quality education so as to make them talented in disruptive technologies like AI, VR, deep learning, robotics, etc.
Look at my life. My father used to be my best friend, and he was a farmer. So we both used to discuss every single thing on the planet. And one day he was talking to me कि घोड़ा चढ़ो किंबा घास काटो, be the best in what you do. So Odias will understand that. Ghoda chढ़ो means ride a horse or cut the grass, be the best in what you do. So that was actually told by one of the American presidents, okay, the famous president. Okay. Now, once I got in mathematics 98. So he said, why can't you get 100? So I took out some bahana. You look, 2 marks, the teacher doesn't give. So he said, why the teacher doesn't give? Show me your papers. You bring your papers home. Let us see why the teacher didn't give or you made the mistake. So then we both went through my paper. Actually, I had made the mistake. He said, next exam, you should know every sum of your book so well, you will get 100 out of 100. So in my 9th to 10th, that exam, I got 100 out of 100. So I came running from my school and told my father, like, do you know what? I got 100 out of 100. He said, is it? I said, yes. I showed him. He was so happy. The 2 drops of tears started rolling down from his eyes. What happens, madam? Every parent wants their children to be strong in mathematics, to be strong in science. I run Mosaha now 4 hours per day. You have joined one of the meetings. I work 18 hours per day. I sleep 5 hours, do my nature work 1 hour. That's my life. Every single day, including Saturday, Sunday, including today. So what am I doing there? I'm training 20 computer science engineers, 20 MBAs in business administration. You have been in one of the meetings. You should join morning meetings. You'll know how I teach them. Madam, these engineers and MBAs, they cannot do the numbers table. That Badmas, Badmas. So we used to do up to 25 number. Odias will understand Ponikia. 25 ke jaake Ponikia I had learned when I was 3 or 4 year old. I started speaking. I knew up to 25th number Ponikia. Now anybody asks her in the Odisha MBAs and engineers, he cannot go beyond 9. One engineer from one of the institutes in Odisha came with his father, a farmer, to meet me. I go to my village nowadays very often. So he said, sir, give me a job. I said, do you know Nauke Ponikya? Nauke means 9th, the multiplication table. He said, yes. I said, tell me. He made a mistake, 9 sevens are 63. And his father told. I said, look, your father is a farmer. He sold his land, sent you to do engineering school. You are a mechanical engineer. You don't know 9 into 7 is 63. The second is a 10 sat. Language is another form of intelligence. No boy in Odisha today, sir, you check, can do 10 sat. He doesn't know there are 3 tense, present, past, future. And in every tense, there are 4 forms. So whosoever comes to me for a job, MBA or engineer or PhD, I first ask him, do you know Ponikia? Do you know 10 sat? If they don't know, in my trust house in my village, I have 20 10 sat book and 20 Sabila Madhuvarna Vada. Sabila Madhuvarna Vada has a Ponikia table. So those Odias will understand. So I give one each. I said, after 30 days you practice, I'll take your test. And after 90 days, I'll help you getting a job. Coming back to the question. When you have destroyed all of us together, collectively, the education system of the country so badly. I come from a village. In my village, education was worshipped. Today, education is laughed at. The teacher doesn't know 10 chat. The English teacher of my village school writes to me, sir, वो English letter पे उड़िया को लिख के भेजता है. Sir, मोते help करंतु KRANTU. You will not say, sir, help, please help me or help my son. I said, you are an English teacher. For heaven's sake, लर्न 10 चार्ट, उसको भी सर एक 10 चार्ट देके आया है। So now let's go to the artificial intelligence, machine learning. These are simplest thing, to learn. Go to edX, go to Coursera. All these are open source courses. You go to YouTube, sitting at home, just investment is laptop, data connectivity. You can learn anything. I got myself trained in, I'm now training myself in quantum computing. I got trained myself in AI machine learning. I learned coding. You were telling me HR. When you join one of my computing classes in the morning, I conduct 9 to 10. All your kid students are there, all engineers. I conduct that class actually 9 to 10 in the morning. And my 8 to 9 class in the evening, you have joined. So on Mosa. So about Mosa, I'll talk later. So sir, it is so easy. Go to Coursera, edX, Udacity, Udemy. And there are 16 free online courses. People are willing to teach. There is nobody to listen. Guru chela na like. कोई सुनने के लिए तैयार नहीं है. There is no receptivity. हमको भी ये जगाना है सर. Receptivity जगाना है, learnability जगाना है. ये बार लास्ट ईयर वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक फोरम में जो स्किल्स आइडेंटिफाई कर रहे थे, उसका टॉप में था लर्नेबिलिटी. वो रिसेप्टिविटी खत्म हो गया, लर्नेबिलिटी खत्म हो गया, क्यूरियोसिटी खत्म हो गया, क्वेस्ट खत्म हो गया. पहले वो स्टार्ट कीजिए. ये तो सब बहुत ही मतलब सिंपल चीजें, एआई, मशीन लर्निंग, डेटा साइंस. मैं भी सोच रहा था कोई रॉकेट साइंस है. मैं तो 2013 से 2013 से आई एम ट्रेनिंग माई सेल्फ इन ऑल दिस machine learning, artificial intelligence, robotics, and all these things. And talking about it, Professor Purnendu Mathuru has been there. I set up, when he was the vice chancellor of KIIT, I set up his Internet of Things. Sir, you remember IoT Center of Excellence I set up in your institute, and advanced robotics, 3D printing. You remember, sir, Center of Excellence with Dr. Samant. And you now can say, I am an arts graduate, I'm an HR guy, but how do I do that?
I think those courses are running very well.
Yes, sir. So we put a mental block, madam. We put a mental limit के ये science है, ये arts है, commerce है. कुछ नहीं है. Spirituality is the foundation. Science, technologies, social aspects and economics are the pillars. On that, the human being lives happily by being physically healthy. That's all about the man's mansion. Over to you, madam.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Next question is from Professor Parmeshwar Naik, Dean Birla School of Management. He says, how to use technologies in encouraging migrant laborers to be self-employed in Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Very good. Thank you,
this
sir.
This is his question. Yeah.
Thank you. This is sir, closest to my heart. So I was sending workers to Jio and Flipkart warehouses from Odisha. Their minimum requirement is a 10th pass. So these boys are 10th pass. Now their second requirement is they'll be tested whether they have learned reading, writing, arithmetic, 3R. Means whether they know small a to Z, capital A to capital Z, and whether they can recognize letters and digits written 0 to 9. And they will be getting 15,000 rupees salary with overtime 22,000 rupees. 18-year-old boy. Sir, if you have people, I need 300,000 such people for the country, not for Jio. So when we gathered people, we found out the people don't know A to Z. The people don't know capital A to Z. The people don't know 0 to 9. So I immediately started, sir, 3R Academy. 3R Academy. Madam, you will be knowing. You are joining 2-3 classes, you join our session, Mosa, you will know. So, sir, I started 3R Academy, reading, writing, arithmetic. Each one teach 10. So I figured it out of 10 migrant workers, we found 1 or 2 people, they know reading, writing, arithmetic. So we made them migrant Sathi, Mosa Sathi. I said, तुम्हारा काम है इन लोगों को सिखाना है, बाकी लोगों को A to Z. बोला सर कैसे सिखाऊंगा? तो मैंने सर YouTube से रिसर्च किया, जो अल्फाबेट कैसे सीखना है, नंबर्स कैसे सीखना है, नंबर्स टेबल कैसे सीखना है, वो YouTube से डाउनलोड करके हमने एक व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप बनाया. तो 60 पीपल माइग्रेंट्स वर गोइंग इन वन बस. तो 6 ग्रुप बनाया. इस ग्रुप का माइग्रेंट साथी को मैं वो भेजा, और मेरा वॉलंटियर्स जो है 100 वॉलंटियर्स है. मैं बोला ईच वॉलंटियर विल टेक केयर ऑफ 100 माइग्रेंट वर्कर्स. सो 100 वॉलंटियर्स विल टेक केयर ऑफ 10,000 माइग्रेंट वर्कर्स. हम क्या किया, टेक्नोलॉजी का सहारा से सर ये लोगों को बस में वो लोग 2 दिन गया, 2 दिन उनको प्रिपेयर होने के लगा, 4 दिन का अंदर हम A to Z सिखाया, नंबर टेबल सिखाया, अभी सर हमारा चल रहा है मल्टीप्लिकेशन टेबल एंड 10th चार्ट। और हमारा एक लॉजिस्टिक्स एकेडमी साथ में चल रहा है, वो लॉजिस्टिक्स एकेडमी में एक लॉजिस्टिक्स प्रोफेशनल को लाया, ये लोगों को सर ट्रेनिंग दे रहा हूँ लॉजिस्टिक्स में, सो दैट ये माइग्रेंट वर्कर जो लोएस्ट लेवल पे काम कर रहे हैं पिकिंग पैकिंग, आफ्टर 1 year दे शुड बी सुपरवाइजर्स and then other migrants should go to work with them and then learn to be supervisors. Now how they will be self-employed? भाई मैं गांव में गया था, when I was a child I used to go to my farm with my father and the Mulia log used to work and I used to join them as a when I was in college, 16-year-old boy, and I used to take curiosity how to sow the seed, how to grow the plant, how to kind of harvest the crop. Recently I went to the I was not going to village for many years, so I recently went to the farm and I figured it out. Our village boys, they don't know anything, and even today I know how to grow, cultivate, how to grow crop, how to harvest crop, and many crops my father trained me, and they don't know. आप बोल रहे आत्मनिर्भर भारत सर, आप बोल रहे हैं कि टेक्नोलॉजीज, ये बच्चे लोगों को पहले श्रद्धा सिखाइए, श्रद्धा, श्रद्धावान लभते ज्ञानम तत्परे संयतेन्द्रिय। Either you have to have श्रद्धा or संयम. Shraddha means interest, Sanjam means discipline. Neither they have Shraddha nor they have Sanjam. So they don't have interest to learn and they don't have a discipline to learn. So first thing is to create work ethics like China. आप चाइना में जाइए, जापान में जाइए, ये जो साउथ कोरिया में जाइए, जो कंट्रीज डेवलप्ड हुआ हमारा आंखों के सामने 30-40 इयर्स में, देखिए इसका फाउंडेशन क्या है। इसका फाउंडेशन मोर देन साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजीज, इट वाज श्रद्धा एंड संयम, it was interest and discipline, and they leverage science and technologies based on that. हमको अभी बच्चों में श्रद्धा का नया उद्भावन करना पड़ेगा, नया क्रिएशन करना पड़ेगा, श्रद्धा और डिसिप्लिन का, इंटरेस्ट और डिसिप्लिन का, वो होगा सर फाउंडेशन ऑफ एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप। मैं ये बच्चों को क्या कर रहा हूँ, वे गल्फ से सब वापस आए, गल्फ से वापस आए, गांव के जाके क्या करेगा, गांव में दारू पिएगा और गांव को स्पॉइल करेगा। उसका एक आस्का फटी होता है सर, इनका देसी मदो होता है आस्का फटी। So whenever I go to my village, I find some people are shouting. I ask village boys, my trust boys, why they are shouting? बोला सर आस्का फटी पिया है। अभी गांव में सब आस्का फटी। What is आस्का फटी? सर देसी दारू। It comes from आस्का, बरहमपुर। So that's why its name is आस्का फटी. That is Odisha now. इसमें कौन से एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप आत्मनिर्भर भारत करेंगे भाई? पहले तो इनको श्रद्धा और संयम सिखाइए। ये मैं अभी 10,000 बच्चों को इंग्लिश अल्फाबेट सिखा रहा हूं, जो प्राइमरी स्कूल टीचर उड़ीसा गवर्नमेंट से पगार लिए हैं वो सिखाए नहीं। उनको दुखी होना चाहिए, भाई मैं इतना सैलरी लिया, मैं 10,000 बच्चों को इंग्लिश अल्फाबेट नहीं सिखाया, नंबर्स नहीं सिखाया। सेम सिचुएशन सर इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में, गुरवो बहव शांति शिष्य वितापहारिणे दुर्लोभय गुरुदेव शिष्य संतापहारिणे. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of gurus in the name of education looting the students, and very rare are those teachers those who are removing the ignorance of the students. We need those teachers in each of us. Ho Chi Minh gave the slogan, each one teach one. Vietnam is a small country. Didn't know America 282,000 soldiers were killed in Vietnam War by the slogan of a small man called Ho Chi Minh. If you all know read the history of Vietnam, he just said each one teach one. What were they teaching? Guerrilla warfare. American soldiers with the most sophisticated weapon didn't know how to handle Vietnam. They ran away for their life. भारत में ये आवश्यकता अभी है. अगर हम नहीं करेंगे, ये 135 करोड़ एक दूसरों को मारेंगे. ये अभी हर आदमी को जो सीखा है वो दूसरों को सिखाना है. आत्मनिर्भर भारत एक स्लोगन है. ये दिस इज एक्चुअली आवर करंट प्राइम मिनिस्टर व्हाटएवर ही सेज ना, इट इज लाइक द्रष्टा बोलते हैं, जो प्रोफेसी है. तो इसका कहना है ये आत्मनिर्भर भारत एक अनिर्वाच्य, मतलब इट्स ए नेसेसिटी सर, इट्स ए नेसेसिटी, एंड इट हैज टू कम फ्रॉम द ग्रास रूट लेवल, एंड दैट ग्रास रूट लेवल इंटरेस्ट एंड डिसिप्लिन हैव टू बी बिल्ट अप. सर हमारा गांव में मैं जाता हूँ, इन एवरी ईयर फ्रॉम आवर विलेज एटलीस्ट 5 बॉयज आर कमिंग अप. They could be scientists, doctors, IAS officers, IPS officers, and many of our village boys are in Germany, US. They're all prosperous. Today I go to village, not a single boy is coming up from that village, sir. What is that education system has it done? अभी आप रीडिंग राइटिंग एरिथमेटिक नहीं सिखा पाओगे. मैं इधर मालाबार हिल में बैठ के बच्चों को रीडिंग राइटिंग एरिथमेटिक उड़ीसा में 10,000 बच्चों को सिखा रहा हूँ. ये है मैडम. तो आत्मनिर्भर भारत का पहले संज्ञा है श्रद्धा और संयम. ये गोल्फ वाला को मैं सब बोला सर. मैं बोला आप लोगों के पास स्किल्स है किया. मैं बोला आपको स्किल्ड रिसोर्स चाहिए, ये लोगों को लेकर जल्दी काम पे लगा दो, नहीं तो गांव में जाएंगे, दारू पियेंगे, जो एल्डरली पेरेंट्स को तंग करेंगे, बीवी को मारेंगे, वो सब ये लोगों को नौकरी में लगाओ. मैं अभी उनको गांव जाने नहीं देता हूँ. इधर हाई सी सेलिंग करके वो जैसे गल्फ से आते हैं उनको LNT शाहपुर जी NCC में लगा दे रहा हूँ काम पे, कंस्ट्रक्शन काम पे. मेरे वॉलंटियर्स 100 वॉलंटियर्स मोस्ट है प्लेटफॉर्म पे. ये सर रिलायंस का नौकरी जॉब नहीं है, ये मेरा जो 4 आवर्स एक्स्ट्रा. आप हमारा थोड़ा मीटिंग कीजिए, आपको मालूम पड़ेगा हम क्या करते हैं एवरीडे.
Sir, I will take 2 more questions because
Yes,
time
sir.
constraint is there.
मैं थोड़ा इमोशन दिल से बोल रहा हूँ, बिकॉज इकोनॉमिक पार्ट तो बोल ही दिया है, बट इसका
Right, sir.
फाउंडेशन इन इमोशन. स्वामी विवेकानंद has said the heart never lies, you know.
So there are 2 questions. One is from Sanket Kumar Jena and second is from Akash Das, MBA first year student. So I'll club the question and put like this. Sir, there is technology for how will technology help the poor students in education because they do not have the required gadgets? And how also we will take care of the basic needs of those children through technology?
Yeah.
Sir, over to you.
Yeah, whosoever says he doesn't have gadgets, he should approach me. And I'll tell you, one boy today, I had sent him to buy a laptop and one data card. He lost his father. He's very poor. So he told me the same question this gentlemen are asking, how poor. He's poor means extremely poor. तो मैंने उसको पूछा सिंपल चीज. मैं अभी सर एवरी डे 9 to 10 I teach 10 boys from my village. One auto driver son, I'm making him a chartered accountant. Another boy who has lost his father, very poor, I'm teaching him to be another accountant, cost accountant. Another girl who is a poor farmer, and they have the only family in the house, have a thatched house, and everybody else has a pakka ghar. So I am talking to collector to make their thatched house a pakka ghar. And that girl is studying BSc sir, your area life science. तो मैं उसको बोला बेटी अगर तुम पढ़ेगा तो मेरा डॉक्टर होके पढ़ेगा. तो तुमको जितना पढ़ना पढ़ो, PhD तक करो, अमेरिका जाओ, यूरोप जाओ, बट पढ़ो. मेरे भाई तुम जो दोनों ये क्वेश्चन पूछा ना, ये क्वेश्चन का प्रैक्टिकली समझो. हम गांव से आया है भाई, हम गरीब घर से आया. गरीब मतलब इतना गरीब नहीं था कि खाना पीना ना मिले, बट हमारा फादर हमेशा हमको बेस्ट कॉलेज में, बेस्ट हॉस्टल में रखा है, सैक्रिफाइस करके. बहुत सैक्रिफाइस किया माय फादर. ही ऑलवेज केप्ट मी द बेस्ट हॉस्टल, sent me to the best college, always deposited money in my name for the whole year so that I don't think about money. So अगर मेरे हमारा सर वो टाइम पे 300 रुपया पर मंथ था, तो 3,600, 3,600, 7,200. So he will deposit in my name 10,000 rupees in the bank. He'll say this money is yours. And you will not believe, sir, Dr. Punnendu Mathur, sir, I will not touch that money. I will not touch that money. I'll give tuition in the side. I was getting scholarship and I never taught my father's money. After my post-graduation, I returned 40,000 rupees those days, 1987, to my father for a sister's marriage. So he said, where did you get this money from? Were you studying there or stealing money? I said, no, Papa. What I learned from you, I saw your sweat. I saw your blood. So when you were giving money in the bank, I was keeping that money in the bank. Except the few months till I settled down as a 16-year-old boy in a hostel, thereafter I have not touched your money. I gave tuition as a 16-year-old boy. When I was in +2 first year, I taught a student in 10th standard, and my tuition money was more than my hostel expenses. So I was actually further adding to my father's saving. When I was doing post-graduation in Bani Vihar management, I used to be in the best hostel, best college, everything best, but I was earning 1,200 rupees per month from tuition, 300, 400 rupees was my expenses. So I was saving 900 rupees per month for my father. Because I had 4 sisters to get married. And those days, 50 years ago, 40 years ago in Odisha, giving marriage to a daughter is not easy, and educating so many children. तो मेरे भाई, पैसा का अभाव लोगों को गरीब नहीं करता है, भाव का अभाव लोगों को गरीब कर देता है। ये बच्चा को मैंने बोला, ये 3 बच्चों को मेरा, दिस इज माय एक्सपेरिमेंट विद द ट्रूथ, आई हैव टेकन 10 चिल्ड्रन एंड आई एवरी ईयर टेक 10 चिल्ड्रन, माने एट एनी पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम आई टेक 10 चिल्ड्रन टू टेक केयर, आई टीच देम, आई सपोर्ट देम। मैं बोला भाई देखो, ये बच्चा को मैं बोल रहा था 19 ईयर ओल्ड, मैथमेटिक्स में 85%, मु तो कहली पणी क्या कहलू, टेल मी पणी क्या, ही कुडंट से पणी क्या, आई गेव हिम 10 शॉट, आई पार्डनड हिम बिकॉज़ ही हैज गॉन टू द रॉन्ग स्कूल, आई टोल्ड हिम 10 शॉट बोलो, प्रेजेंट टेंस, फ्यूचर टेंस, पास्ट टेंस, ही कुडंट से, आई गेव हिम 10 शॉट। आई सेड हरिनाम आता है, बोला है महामंत्र, मैं बोला महामंत्र आता है, बोला हाँ आता है, बोला क्या है, बोला हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। तुम अगर मुझे हर दिन ये 3 चीज करके भेजेगा, एक हरिनाम का एक पेज लिखेगा, एक 10 शॉट का एक पेज लिखेगा, एक मैथमेटिक्स का एक पेज, अकाउंटिंग तू पढ़ रहे हो अकाउंटिंग का पेज लिखेगा, तुम्हारा एजुकेशन का खर्चा मेरा है। बोला सर इसमें से क्या होगा? मैं बोला देखो, तुम अगर मुसलमान हो अल्लाह का नाम लिखो, क्रिश्चियन हो तो जीसस क्राइस्ट का नाम लिखो, हरि मतलब हिंदू हो तो हरि का नाम लिखो। बोला इसमें से क्या होगा? मैं बोला इसमें से श्रद्धा आएगी, संयम आएगी। When you will have interest, you can talk to that boy. His boy's name is Rudra. If you join my evening class, you will be there. So or morning class. So I said, श्रद्धा आएगी, संयम आएगी। एक बार श्रद्धा और संयम आ जाएगी ना, आपका तो ये आप ये अकाउंटिंग इंग्लिश तो सर इजी है। बोला हाँ सर, सर आप जो बोलेंगे करूंगा। मैं बोला देखो, कोई वो सर ये ट्यूशन गया, गरीब का बच्चा 10,000 रुपया कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग की ट्यूशन के लिए भेजा, पैसा दिया एक कोई कॉस्ट अकाउंटेंट टीचर को। बोला बेटा तुम क्यों पैसा नष्ट किया? बोला सर कैसे पढ़ेगा? मैं बोला चलो मैं इन लोगों को अभी ट्यूशन देता हूँ सर 9 to 10 आफ्टर माई मोस्ट है क्लास। तो मैं बोला एक काम करो, फोन उसको एक दिया, स्मार्टफोन। मैं बोला उसमें गूगल करो कॉस्ट, हाउ टू बी ए कॉस्ट अकाउंटेंट, उसको स्टेप बाय स्टेप how to be a cost accountant, how to enroll for membership in Indian Institute of Cost Accountancy, how to learn the free openware courses, how to learn YouTube courses। तो फिर वो फोन पे सीख के वो थक गया। मैंने जैसे देखा उसका श्रद्धा आ रहा है, बोला बेटा एक काम कर, तू एक लैपटॉप खरीद ले। और लैपटॉप खरीद ले, मैं तो कुछ भी नहीं हूं, मेरे जैसे लाखों लोग चाहते हैं कि ऐसे कोई गरीब बच्चा में श्रद्धा और संयम हो तो उसको आगे बढ़ाएं। अगर किसी के पास श्रद्धा और संयम है, उसका पढ़ाई लिखाई में तकलीफ हो रहा है, मेरे पास लेकर आइए। उसको 10 सेट आना चाहिए, नंबर टेबल आना चाहिए, पढ़ी क्या आना चाहिए 4th स्टैंडर्ड का। अगर नहीं आएगा तो फर्स्ट 100 डेज वो ट्रेनिंग दिया जाएगा।
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So we will take one last question, though we have received a number of questions, but sorry everyone, I cannot take all the questions.
और कोई गरीब का बच्चा हो ना, उसका जिम्मेदारी मेरा है। अगर गरीब का बच्चा है, मैथमेटिक्स में अबव 90 रखता है, अगर ऐसे बच्चा किधर भी मिले और उसको 10 चार्ट और पढ़ी के आता हो, मेरे पास लेकर आइए।
ठीक है सर, जरूर। Next we have a question from Professor Anubha Rai. She's a faculty of Business Communication, Birla School of Management. She writes, thank you sir for such an enlightening talk. You said we should copy China shamelessly, but both the countries are so different in many respects. How can a nation grow or be economically prosperous and at the same time the citizens be free and happy?
Madam, we don't need to be Casablanca. So we need to be intelligent Casablanca. We should be childlike, not childish. So वो क्या होता है ना मैडम, कैसाबियंका को फादर बोल के गया इधर खड़े रहो, तो सब जब शिप जल रहा था सब भाग रहे थे शिप से, वो बेचारा उधर ही खड़ा रहा। वो नहीं करने का मैडम। When I am saying copy shamelessly spirit of China and contextualize, adapt. See मैडम, एक होता ना अडेप्टेशन होता है कि क्या हमारा भारत में काम करेगा क्या नहीं करेगा। नो, चाइना माइट हैव ग्रोन इन 40 years so much। आप लोगों को डॉक्टर माथुर को याद होगा, रशिया यूज्ड टू ग्रो लाइक दिस इन 60s, 70s, 80s। हमको लगा रशिया तो वर्ल्ड को खा जाएगा, टिल रशिया ब्रोक इनटू पीसेस। got fragmented. Russia got fragmented. जिसका आधार लोगों का सम्मान के साथ हो, आध्यात्मिकता ऊपर, ह्यूमन वैल्यूज के ऊपर आधारित हो, वो सस्टेनेबल होता है. Anything which is founded on spirituality, science, secularism and respect for human values, वो सस्टेनेबल होता है. भारत का फाउंडेशन वो है. मगर भारत में जो आलसी आ गया है, आप साउथ कोरिया को देखिए, साउथ कोरिया तो चाइना जैसे नहीं है, और उधर वर्क एथिक्स देखिए, 96% ऑफ द पीपल आर स्किल्ड. मैं जर्मनी गया था 2014 में. आई वाज लीडिंग द डेलीगेशन फॉर स्टडिंग डुअल एजुकेशन सिस्टम in Germany. Prime Minister had gone to unveil that Make in India logo. That was like in 2014, I was the chairman of Indian Merchant Chamber. So I was leading the delegation on the skill development. I stayed in Germany 15 days studying the dual education system. Dual education system क्या होता है सर? Learning while doing. तो एक बच्चा 10th पास कर लेता है, तो 3 दिन वो काम करता है, 3 दिन पाठ पढ़ता है. अगर वो ITI हो, ISC हो, आर्ट्स हो, कॉमर्स हो, 3 days काम करेगा, 3 days पढ़ाई करेगा. After 2 years and this 3 days काम के लिए he gets salary, and that salary is good enough to fund his education. After 2 years, then he goes to higher degree. 3 days he has to work, 3 days he has to study. After graduation he goes to post graduation. He has to study 3 days, work 3 days. Post graduation goes to PhD. He has to study 3 days, research 3 days, work 3 days. ये सर प्रैक्टिकली होता है. Every educational institution is part of the industry, and every industry is part of the educational institution. उनका एक scientific council है. तो any academic institution, always professors like you, they spot the emerging trends in science, whether it is physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology. These are the basic sciences. They spot the trend, and the technologist tries to tinker around like MIT Research Lab. They see how this part of the science can be translated into technologies. And the technologies, when it gets commercial application, industrialists like Google, Facebook, Amazon, Mukesh Ambani, they go and take that technology and create commercial value. जर्मनी में वो लोग सर क्या किए, एक साइंटिफिक काउंसिल बनाए जिसमें प्रोफेसर लाइक डॉक्टर माथुर, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर्स लाइक चीफ सेक्रेटरी ऑफ साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, जो चीफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर, इंडस्ट्री का जो ये वो सेगमेंट में जो लीडर है, ये सबको लेके के बॉडी बनाया. तो उनका काम है एवरी ईयर दे सिट डाउन एंड रिसर्च व्हिच एस्पेक्ट ऑफ साइंस इज गेटिंग ट्रांसलेटेड इनटू टेक्नोलॉजीज and can be created in commercial value. Always you will see, sir, this artificial intelligence, machine learning, 3D printing, advanced robotics, quantum computing, the first country in the world will always be Germany in adopting it, reflecting it in its products. Today also, if you see, sir, any product of Germany, whether a Mercedes car, BMW, and all these cars, they are the best in automobile, aeronautics, all the engineering industry, and also chemical industry and pharmaceutical industry. In every industry, you will see, sir, the latest science and technology will be the first country to apply because of that integrated approach. Then that will cascade down. That will cascade down to the post-graduation level, graduation level, and ITI level. ITI means the junior college level. When some child is studying in a Mercedes plant, electrician's job, he is studying electrician ka elementary, electrical engineering ka elementary course. Hai. When he is doing diploma engineer level job, he is studying the diploma engineering theory and doing diploma engineering job. When he is becoming a degree engineer, he is learning design, architecture and all that, and doing a design engineer's job, reading design engineering theories. When he is doing PhD in electrical engineering, what all new frontiers are coming up, he is developing his hypothesis, testing it in the research lab, and sir, he is translating it into the product in the Mercedes plant. I saw in front of my eyes, BMW, Mercedes, Porsche, all these plants. एक जर्मन साइंटिस्ट को आप बोलिए, प्रोफेसर को, कि मेरा ये स्विच खराब हो गया, मेरा एक्चुअली ऐसे हुआ है, एक इलेक्ट्रिक पॉइंट काम नहीं कर रहा है, मैं इसको ठीक नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ। मैं अगर एक इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग का पीएचडी को बोलूँ ना इसको ठीक कर दो, नहीं कर पाएगा। एक हमारा वो आईटीआई को भी बोलूँ ना, वो कर नहीं पाएगा। हमारा गांव का जो इलेक्ट्रिशियन है ना, बेचारा 10th फेल है, तो जो काम किया उसमें वही कर पाता है। बट जर्मनी में ऐसे नहीं होता है सर। जो इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग का प्रोफेसर है वो आपका स्विच बोर्ड भी ठीक कर सकता है, आपका फैन भी ठीक कर सकता है, आपका एरोप्लेन भी ठीक कर सकता है, आपका स्पेसक्राफ्ट भी ठीक कर सकता है, शटल भी ठीक कर सकता है। ये चाहिए सर मैडम, भारतवर्ष में ये चाहिए। मैं आके मेरा रिपोर्ट दिया प्लानिंग कमीशन को, वो टाइम में नीति आयोग हो गया था। हमारा वो पंजाब का चीफ मिनिस्टर थे, वो स्किल डेवलपमेंट कमेटी का चेयरमैन थे वो, मैं उनके साथ काम किया 2014-15 में। ये जो स्किल डेवलपमेंट पॉलिसी है उसका ड्राफ्ट का 75% मेरा ही सर, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का। मैंने लिखा है इसको बैठ के सारी लाइन बाय लाइन। बट क्या ना काम नहीं होता है इंडिया में, क्या श्रद्धा नहीं, संयम नहीं। जर्मनी में क्या, जर्मन इंजीनियर्स आर लाइक दिस, व्हाट दे से दे डू, व्हाट दे डू दे से। हमारा गुरु मिला लाख लाख, चला ना मिला एक, सब वाक्य भी रहे।
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your inspiring words. Had it been our seminar hall, we would have given you a standing ovation, but the least we can do is I can bow to you. Thank you so much for inspiring. Thank you so much. In spite of doing such a demanding job of working under Mukesh Ambani, and who is earning rupees 90 crores per hour, this is what we read 4 days ago.
So every minute he earns 1.5 crore.
My God,
क्योंकि हम लोग 16 आवर्स, मैं पहले 18 घंटा काम कर रहा था, अभी 14 आवर्स किया, 4 घंटा मोसाय के लिए कर रहा हूँ।
सर इसके अलावा आप इतना कुछ कर रहे हैं मोसाय।
उनको बोला नहीं, 4 घंटा मोसाय को दे रहा हूँ।
Hats off to you, sir. Sir, hats off. So thank you so much.
मेरा एक रिक्वेस्ट है, आप लोगों को रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ, आप मोसाय का मीटिंग को 1-2 बार आके ज्वाइन कीजिए, देखिए, सुनिए हम क्या करते हैं। हमारे साथ लंदन स्कूल ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स का प्रोफेसर से, हार्वर्ड, स्टैनफोर्ड, हर जगह पे हमने जोड़ा है, और हर देश से हम लोगों का रिप्रेजेंटेटिव रखा है। सऊदी अरबिया, यमन, ओमान, कुवैत, हर जगह पे हमारा रिप्रेजेंटेटिव है। हमारा इकोनॉमिक थिंक टैंक है, दोज हू रिसर्च इनटू माइग्रेंट इकोनॉमी। हमारा हेल्थ थिंक टैंक है, बेस्ट ऑफ द मेडिकल साइंटिस्ट्स आर देयर। मैडम हैज जॉइंड आवर एजुकेशन काउंसिल, वी हैव बेस्ट ऑफ द एजुकेशनिस्ट। हम लोग सर यूजिंग लेटेस्ट साइंस, टेक्नोलॉजीज एंड इकोनॉमिक थिंकिंग फॉर द पुअरेस्ट ऑफ द पुअर्स इन अ वेरी प्रैक्टिकल मैनर, वही कर रहे हैं मोसाय प्लेटफॉर्म। Thank you. I invite all of you to join Mosaay. At least bless us.
Sir, after this talk, definitely faculty members will be joining, sir. So moving ahead, I deem it my honor to introduce Professor B.K. Das. He is the Registrar of Birla Global University. Sir is a PhD in economics and has done LLB. He joined BIMTech Greater Noida in 2009 as a professor in banking and financial services. He is a certified associate of the Indian Institute of Bankers. He has been instrumental in the inception and development of this university. He has worked with the Nobel laureate, Professor Yunus, under a UNDP project. His contribution to financial inclusion and SMEs is significant. Now I request our registrar, sir, please propose vote of thanks.
Sir, before you propose vote of thanks, sir, we have a Finclusion council, Finclusion, financial inclusion. I'll invite you to address us to our volunteers one day on financial inclusion for the poorest of the poor, these migrants.
Yeah.
Over to you, sir.
I'd love to be there. Thank you so much. And I am so much involved in this, your talk, that I have forgotten all formalities of giving vote of thanks, because coming from Odisha and coming, I mean, my maternal place being Kakatpur area, I can link yourself, and this is no formality, because we have exceeded time, and I wish we still exceed the time. It was so thought-provoking and spellbound, and I'm really thankful to Professor Mathur that he has requested you to come and deliver this address today, and your entire address is based on you know, our what is real life, like in a rural area to the top of the world. You are talking of Panikia, which is a strong strength of Odias during our days also. We are good in arithmetic because of Panikia. You have to be a very, very expert in Panika, otherwise you'll be bitten up by the teacher. So you have to learn. And so also Sanskrit was very strong with us, because Sanskrit also you have to mug up much. And the Sanskrit teachers were also horrible. They will be asking you to repeat many things. Anyway, that's coming to the formal vote of thanks. I'm very happy that all our listeners have got a exposure to what great things you are doing, noble things you are doing for the society. Sitting at Reliance reporting to Maniji gives a different picture of yours, but people who come to know you and hear your discourse today will treat you as a different personality. Nothing to do with the billionaires or millionaires, but you are a man of this soil and you are doing great work for the country. So we are all proud of you, and special proud belonging to the same state. And I'll request you to give us more time in opportune time when things are normal, so that again, as Madam rightly said, of course you have visited our campus once, and that people still remember your lectures there. We would like to have more interaction face to face with the students and faculties, so that there's a sense of satisfaction will be more, and that time is coming. As you rightly said, things will change, world will change, again normalcy will come. And coming to that, there will be a great challenge once the vaccine is ready, that cold chain system, again the science and technology will come to work, how to take the vaccine to the large people, not only in India, entire world, how to reach. I know that first thing will go to the rich people, and it will be very difficult for the poor people to get the vaccine. And I'm sure that you will play a very, very vital role in ensuring in India that the supply chain management is such a way managed that the poorest of the poor get the vaccine, who are in the rural areas. As you rightly said, they don't know what is COVID and why they are dying. So it should reach them first. I'm very much delighted that our mentor, Professor Chaturvedi, who is the mentor of Birla Global University, is the director of BIMTech. He is very, very busy in the sense that a lot of, yesterday only the foundation day ceremony was going on. Today also he had a lot of this thing, but he found time to be here. And I'm sure if sir is there, he must have enjoyed a lot from this. And I thank him also that he has found time to come. I can also see Professor Parmeshwar Naik also attended our Dean School of Management. So like a magnet, you have attracted people for today's evening. And my formal vote of thanks is that we are really grateful to you. You have given this valuable time to us, and we are all proud of you. And with that, I'll hand over to Madam.
Thank you.
Thank you, Das sir. Thank you so much. I would like to conclude by chanting one Sanskrit sloka, which I thought I got inspired by Vijay sir's speech. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukh bhag bhavet. Which means, may all be happy, may all be free from illness, may all experience the auspices, may no one be overtaken by any suffering. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your kind
Thank you.
presence.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Punnendu, sir. Thank you, Dr. Das. So we'll be in touch, Madam Chaudhary.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.